It was early September when I came back from Japan, but I still believe that we were in the midst of summer. It was still summer when I had left LA, and then I spent 3 weeks in the sweltering Japanese heat, so I don't think I was prepared for the sudden, or at least what felt sudden, change of seasons when I returned. The weather wasn't exactly dropping significantly because we're in SoCal, but all of my friends were going back to school, and now that I had no school to go back to, it kind of felt like I was on a perpetual summer break. And given that we have such insignificant seasonal changes in Southern California, I was seriously asking every single day, where had summer gone? I was also in a bit of a creative rut. I wasn't really happy with any of the work I was producing for YouTube or otherwise. I kept trying to find things to bring me out of this frustration with summer ending, with my creative insecurities, and to be honest, I'm not really sure if any of that did anything, or if it was really just time that I needed to sort of settle into this new groove that is what feels like the first real chapter of my post-grad life.
This actually isn't a typical breakfast for me. Well, the toast and fruit is, but making tea isn't. I'm not much of a caffeine person, so I don't really drink coffee ever. Tea's more acceptable, I guess. But I felt like I needed to today because I made wagon wheels yesterday. They're just too British feeling for me not to be in the mood to drink tea today. And today's kind of the nice weather for it because it's a little bit gloomy, so I like that's what I associate with the ambiance. I've been watching the Great British Bake Off. We finished bread week, and oh my god, I just knew. I was like, there's a 50-50 chance that one of these people in the handful that I've already gotten attached to, they're really gonna drop the ball one week. So yeah, that's why I made my wagon wheels. But I'm gonna be honest, I have some notes on the recipe, and I think it's Paul Hollywood. So Paul, you could come up with a better recipe for these. Maybe it's because I've never had an actual wagon wheel from the shops, but I made Mallomars every fall since I was a middle schooler. And Mallomars are practically the exact same thing, just not in sandwich form and without the jam. The recipes that I use for Mallomars held up so much better than whatever this recipe was. I didn't do this because I was like, that sounds like it's not going to work out. The recipe said to make the marshmallow before even baking the cookies. Which I'm like, okay, marshmallow sets. So why would you make marshmallow, basically wait for it to set while you're spending an hour and a half baking cookies and letting them cool and then covering them in chocolate before piping them? That doesn't make any sense. So in comparison to the way I felt 2 weeks ago, I'm actually starting to welcome fall a bit more. Long enough time has passed since the last feelings of summer that I'm starting to welcome fall. And I think I'm starting to welcome, the idea that I'm not going back to school. I mean, I was welcome to the idea of not going back to school. I don't want to go back to school. But the idea that now life is going to move at my own pace, there aren't literal benchmark tests and quarters ending and graduation and stuff like that. The goals and milestones and markers, whether they're really big ones or just sort of monthly, are now just going to be set by me. And it's both nice and scary, I think. Like, who am I to help? Well, no, it's because it's my life, so that's who I am, to be the one dictating when things should be happening or when I feel okay that something's happening or not. I don't know. Like, I don't even have to think really anything in particular that I'm thinking about when I say that. Like, oh, like, this should be happening, this should be happening. But I think before I would have been more nervous that it's like, oh, I'm still at my part-time job and I don't know what kind of career. But I feel like right now I'm like, I do know what I'm hoping for within like the year, and then we'll see again in a year how I think I should be moving forward, and then again and again and again. So, just a reminder that this is also still currently my life, and I do feel like I wasted away certain years and moments constantly just waiting and waiting and waiting and like enduring until I get to like this imaginary point that somehow it will be better, but then I just wasted all that time feeling so anxious to move on. And I do have things that I'm like, oh, when it's like this in the future, it'll be exciting here. But I'm so young. I have so much of life left that I am actually feeling like at peace and like sort of like gliding along a lazy river type feeling for the next few months of life. It feels like freeing a little bit, where I am content with the current state of my life. I don't intend to be here forever, and yeah, there are things in the future that I'm excited about or that I want to get to, but I don't feel like in such a rush, and I am excited to enjoy like the current period and every day. These are my picks. This one, it's either going to end up being inspiration for myself to go through all 100 of them, or it'll be a gift to my sister for basically the same thing. This would be fun to go through. Like, it has them numbered. My 2 Nat Geo picks. We should bring back reading magazines on the toilet. I feel like the phone is endless, and this is at least educational. I miss AP Euro. That was literally my favorite class in high school, and I miss it. So I guess these both kind of combine. And I also just recently watched the Decameron. The medieval European vibes made me want to pick this one up. So I'll be reading these on the toilet instead.
他のものは全部包丁で。
Oh, that's beautiful.
Every time I'm at the beach, it's like this life is worth living.
Yep.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
So charming. Oh, look, he's
Hated how much he actually worked. Like, this was really like a toxic romance.
that would be a little freaky. Biggest coming of age concept you can think of is a carnival.
Yeah.
Picture.
Wait, this is kind of fun!